Chet Suffolk, mate. Last night, I couldn't sleep very well. I woke up in the morning, about 5 o'clock, looked out my window, and on the window ledge there was one singular feather, a white one. Belonged to a dove. And, my brother would deny it. But there's only one thing that means. They've been softening my blood again.
Chet Suffolk is insane. He has an acute obsession with wildlife, viewing it as mostly an aggressor. This has led to much erratic behaviour and the dissolution of several of his relationships, most notably with his live-in brother, Rob.
It wasn't really a gradual thing. I mean, it wasn't just like he woke up and he was doing it. Over a period of about 3 days, he started periodically talking in a strange accent, at breakfast, lunch, things like that, and he'd go out for several hours at a time. When he came back, he'd be talking in a thick Australian accent.
I've been all over the world fighting animals. I was the only man who witnessed the War of the Birds.
He's not Australian.
He's not Australian.
No, he's not Australian. No, he's as English as I am.
I've strangled a swan. I've picked up, one of those red pandas out of the tree, climbed the tree, got him out, put him around my neck, like that, jumped down, smacked him off a branch.
His name's Barry Inglewood.
Barry Inglewood, okay. I've come back to England. The first thing I did when I got here was I punched a dog in the face. The guy was barking at me for no reason, shouting his fucking obscenities at me.
And I'd be like, "Morning, Barry," and he'd be like, "Who the fuck is Barry, mate?"
So I said, "You know what? You don't even know where I've been, mate. You don't know where I've been, right? I've just been over in the fucking jungle fighting guys a lot worse than you, so don't fucking start on me." And he's just barking. I punched him in the face.
Eventually, going on hunts wasn't enough for him. He said he had to go back to the motherland to find out what it was all about.
Yeah, that's what makes me Chet Suffolk. When I got back, my brother was all over me. He was saying, "How are ya? You been? Weren't you?" He was happy about it.
It's true, I was, yeah.
Yeah, I said to him at the first, when I got back from Perth, I said, "I've been having a good time over there, my life's really shaped, I'm flourishing." And he said, "Oh, are ya? Yeah? You really having a good time over there?" And I said, "No, not really, mate. Things got worse for me over there. I've lied to you. I had to come and clean you, my blood brother, and things ain't good, You go over to Perth, and you think you're going back to the motherland because they say if you're from Perth, then the country gives Perth to you."
Yeah, he started talking about Perth, Mother Perth, and he was from Perth apparently.
The devil lives in Perth. The devil lives there, Satan lives there. So you go over there and there he is at the airport waiting for you with a little sign that says Chet, and you go up to him and he's got his tail, he's got his tail wrapped around his feet and his big fucking horns come out the top, and he says to you, you get there and he says, "Why don't you come back to my house, Chet? You come and see the wildlife here, come and see all these crazy exotic animals, and let's see if we can't give you a nervous breakdown."
Yeah, he thinks the sparrows call him. He thinks the sparrows bring him up in the middle of the day.
Do you remember that time the phone rang? When I first got back, the phone was ringing. I goes up to the phone and you said, "The phone ain't ringing, Chet. What are you picking up for?" And I said, "Yes, it is. I can hear it." And I picked it up, and there they were on the phone. And you said, "Look at that receiver. It says line in use, and that means that you've just picked it up. There's nobody on there, right?" I remember you saw that. Yeah? But who was talking to me then? Huh?
I don't.
Rob, who was that?
I don't.
I know who it was.
Who was it?
It was the fucking sparrows.
We talked down the phone to him, and
they ring when you're not here, and I don't pick up the phone because I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know whether the phone's really ringing or if it's in my head because of the things you said. But it doesn't matter what, because every time I answer the phone, there's someone speaking to me. All right?
Sparrows can't talk. They do not have the power of speech. They are animals, and we are humans. They can't talk. Threaten him if he doesn't pay protection.
All right? This is my fucking game. All right? Animals, wildlife. This is Chet, mate. this is Chet. Animals do seem to find me, and I seem to find them. I have to pay them for protection from the other animals in the area. Right?
People would carry around in their wallet. And he takes piles and piles of odd pounds and £2 coins and dumps them at the bottom of a tree. But they never want them, apparently. That's what he says. Probably because they're birds and they can't actually use money.
And it's nothing that I have called upon myself.
Talking about killing dogs and fucking sparrows on the phone!
It's always just been part of me, you know. I'll walk out in the street and I'll be hearing them in my ears, you know, just... Go back to Clacton!
But Rob isn't the only one associated with Chet. He also has a friend, whom he refers to as Doggie.
So yeah, this is Doggie, a good mate of mine. Good mate of mine. We go on the coal together. Oh, Doggie, he's like my dad.
I mean, I'm down the pub a lot. He shows up with feathers in his hair, and I'm not talking like Indian headdress or whatever. I'm talking like pigeon feathers, just sticking out of his hair, all sorts. So you know, naturally, you turned a few heads. But I walked around there and I spoke to him. I was like, you know, what the fuck's this about? And he said that he'd seen something on TV about a guy that had taped a bunch of pigeons to his head, so he wanted to test his own metal.
Have you ever seen a man run down the street with a load of pigeons sellotaped to his head, and they're all flapping, and he's just running down the street screaming?
And he threw himself off the top of a police van, see if he could fly.
I got run over by a police van.
Yeah, he was pretty fucked up, pretty cut up about it, about the failure and the fact that the pigeons had really scratched his head up.
We took some cocaine in the toilet. I took a shit and fell over.
So it weren't really the worst day of Chet's life.
When I met Doggie, it was probably the first time I was able to get an erection in a long time.
It was definitely the worst day of Rob's life.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, you know, that was a mess.
We came back here, and we got pissed, and we went out and found a couple of cats, brought them back here, sliced them up all over Rob's room.
I walked in there and there were cat entrails strung up from the ceiling from one end to the other, like they'd made a rope out of intestines. And it was hanging a banner on it, and it just said Chet Suffolk on it.
Me and Chet got on alright, probably for the wrong reasons, but I don't care.
I didn't know these animals existed, right? But I used to dream about their faces. I used to dream about them looking at me, and then I got to Australia, and there they were. They fucking exist. Koala bears. You know, they're real.
Well, man, you don't want to start dreaming about shit and having it pop up. But you did go there. That was your fucking mistake. Rob brings him food, but Chet never eats it.
Oh, he doesn't eat.
No, because think about it. I mean, alright, Chet has his own diet. He eats a few things that normal people eat, but not a lot. I mean, I've seen him eating birdseed before. I don't know what that's about.
Roast potatoes.
He's a big fan of roast potatoes.
I've seen him eat mice. Like
Live mice?
Not live, no. He kills them, skins them.
Robbo was in here last night, right? We were watching the TD, and there was something about the fucking Australians out there, down in the bush, and there was the kookaburras in there, mate. The fucking laughing birds, and he told me they didn't exist. And there they were on TV.
Ah, yeah, but then Rob's full of shit, mate.
Rob is full of shit, mate. He don't fucking know, does he? He's ignorant.
Rob, my brother, he's a nice guy. He's always looked after me and all that, but he doesn't always fucking get it, you know.
Remember that time we tried to give him a bat? You know,
Yeah.
the one for killing otters?
Yeah,
And he just threw it out there that otters don't live anywhere near here.
yeah,
Just threw it back at you. Got really fucking pissed off.
yeah, and it flew away.
Yeah?
Just flew away. I was going to teach him how to use a bat to make a bat kill an otter, and he wasn't up for it. He wasn't up for training it, you know. A
Well,
bat
he'll
can
be.
be a good companion, you know.
He's too busy going to his fucking normal job.
I mean, he sometimes will be laying in bed, and I'll come in with a fox under my arm and say, "Look at this, look what I fucking got," and he'll say, "Oh, come on, not again. Go and put it back. Go and put it back." And he'll think it's the neighbour's dog because he's half asleep, and he'll say, "Go and put fucking Jeffrey back in the garden," and I'll say, "It's not a fucking dog, it's a fox. Just fucking look at it." And he'll say, "Where's its ears then? Foxes have big pointy ears." And I'll say, "Well, how do you think I got it in the can?"
Your brother's a prick, ain't
You'd
he?
think
Yeah.
he is a prick, mate. He is a prick.
So we decided it would probably be a good idea to have personal care for him, you know, like a nurse come around and look after him and that. But I've been through 3 now. They just give up. They just give up, and I think.
What happened with that? Sort of
Well, we used to have one who came round. His name was Ramon, and he used to come round. It was a bit difficult, really. I was working a lot more then. Obviously, I've had to reduce my work hours to 1 day a week now. I try to make up for it by wearing a tie.
I think he'd be perfectly fine on his own. I mean, I'd come over, I suppose.
Ramon, yeah, basically Chet tried to stab him once. He had a bottle of orange squash.
Yeah, I mean, he could replace all sorts of shit he doesn't need.
But they didn't realise that Chet had put a knife in it. And the blade cut into the back of Ramon's tongue and the beginning of his
I
throat.
love that. I was just sit on his balcony and watch.
He's been on meds, he's been on drugs.
Sorry, we cannot answer your call now. Please leave your message after the beep.
Hello, Chet. This is Dr. Whitfield. I was informed that you've returned from your self-appointed exodus to Australia, and it's of the utmost importance that we book you an emergency appointment as soon as possible. We have to get you back on those drugs. Please give me a call. Thanks.
But he's a very difficult man to control, so I suppose it's really only up to Chet when he gets better. This isn't funny, alright? You've got to stop coming over here and egging him on.
Why?
It's
Why
not.
can't you? You're here all the time. You get so much amusement out of this guy.
No, it's not funny. He has a sickness. He thinks these strange
he's not
thoughts.
sick. He's just weird.
No, you're just capitalising for your own benefit. Why do you consistently come round here?
Life is fucking boring, mate.
That's
And-
not.
and
that's
this-
not- Turn that fucking camera off.
This is
Get
a
out of
fucking
it.
nice place to be if I need to amuse myself. You know why?
Look, just stop it, right? It's not funny. It's never been funny. It's just the sufferings of a poor, insane human being, and you are just capitalising on it. There's no excuse.
Oh, I'm making money off
I don't fuck that. No,
Spending
who
money
even
on
cares about whether you're making money off it? You're coming around here just to fucking take the piss out of a guy who's down on his luck and a little bit mentally incapacitated, and at the same time just get your jollies from laughing at his folly and egging him on. He's only
So
getting
you take
worse.
it way too
You convinced
seriously.
him. You convinced him that the devil was real and lived in Perth.
Yeah?
That's just insane. That's
Yeah,
why
but it's brilliant. It makes the story so much more colourful. Imagine how
a
many
story.
people we could amuse.
It's not a soap opera.
Oh, it is.
It's
Look
not.
at it that
It's
way.
the life of a man and me. You're making my life worse vicariously by.
Yeah, but you're a prick that wears a tie. What the fuck?
I'm
are
not a
you
prick
about
that wears
you?
a tie. I have a job. I have a job,
Yeah.
and it's the only job that brings any money into this fucked up house.
Yeah, he brings money in. He just keeps it all in a room.
He doesn't
That's
bring
fine.
any money in. What the hell's that?
Fucking
The noise came from the bathroom. For fuck's sake. Chet. What the fuck are you doing, man? Get that camera out of here. Get out of here. Fucking camera out of here now.